Right. So we're back for another deep dive. And this time we're going into Harry Potter and the Chamber of Secrets. We're really getting into like the restricted section of the Hogwarts library with this one. So just to get us on the same page, this is Harry's second year, right?
Mhm.
Things are amping up. It's not just a fun magical school year anymore. We've got attacks, whispers of this chamber, this whole prejudice thing.
Yeah, it's a lot more, there's a lot more weight to it this time.
Yeah.
You know, it's not just a mystery. There are real stakes here.
Oh.
Muggle-born students being targeted, and that question of who's the heir of Slytherin looms over everything. What's striking in these excerpts is how much detective work Harry, Ron, and Hermione are doing.
Oh, totally.
It's like
wizard detectives, right?
exactly.
Yeah,
you know.
piecing it all together. And I mean, from whispers to like messages on the walls.
Speaking of messages, that scene with the one written in blood, I mean, that's when it really got to me. It sets such a chilling tone. Oh, for sure. For sure. And it's not just a warning, right? It's a declaration. It brings that prejudice, that deep-seated prejudice right to the surface. Mudblood isn't just an insult. It's meant to dehumanize, to intimidate.
It really makes you think about the whole wizarding world in a different light. You know,
Yeah.
because this prejudice, it's so deep-rooted, it's even why people suspect Hagrid.
Yeah, yeah.
I mean, poor Hagrid, everyone just jumps to conclusions. Harry knows he'd never hurt anyone.
Right, right. It shows how fear and prejudice just totally cloud judgment. you know, people want to blame someone. And Hagrid, with his love of dangerous creatures, easy target.
Right, right.
But, you know, it reinforces this theme, this appearance versus reality. Things aren't always what they seem, especially when it comes to characters like Hagrid or Tom Riddle.
Oh, Tom Riddle, right. That diary. It's like a window, but it's so much more than just some old record, isn't it?
Absolutely. The diary it's a powerful, magical object. It's not just reading his words. We're in his memories. We're experiencing his thoughts. It's like his essence is there. And because of that, he can affect the present in ways a normal diary never could.
It's kind of scary when you think about it. Like, if a diary can hold that much power,
Yep.
what else is out there?
Right. Makes you wonder about the depths of magic, right? It cracks open the surface of what we think we know.
Yeah.
And that ties into another interesting element in these excerpts you picked, the polyjuice potion. It's fascinating how it allows them to transform, literally become someone else.
Yeah, and that scene where they use it to become Slytherin students. I mean, talk about risky.
Oh, absolutely. But it's not just about getting information. It's exploring this idea of identity.
Right.
What happens when you literally become another person, you know?
Yeah.
Do you lose yourself? Do you see the world differently? It's a big question, even outside the magic world, I think.
Oh, absolutely. It makes you wonder, if you had the potion, who would you become? What would you learn?
No.
Ooh, I'd love to hear, actually, let us know in the comments. But before we get too far off track, back to the story. So that reveal about the chamber being in Moaning Myrtle's bathroom,
Oh, yeah.
I did not see that coming.
Such a clever twist. It takes something so ordinary, a bathroom, a school bathroom, and turns it into this entrance to a hidden, dangerous world. And it makes sense given Myrtle's connection to the chamber.
Oh, totally. And then there's that moment when we finally find out what the monster is. That's when it gets truly terrifying.
It's chilling when we find out what that monster actually is. A basilisk. Giant snake death stare like something out of a nightmare. And it all clicks while only Harry could hear it.
Right. All those whispers were creepy enough, but knowing it's this huge snake that can kill you just by looking, it's enough to petrify anyone, no pun intended.
Yeah, you said it. It adds so much tension to the story. It makes us, the readers, and the characters face our fears.
Speaking of facing fears, poor Lockhart. He's all these grand stories, but then the real danger hits.
Oh, he crumbles. It's almost funny how fast his facade drops.
Yeah.
That whole memory erasing thing backfiring. Not a good look. Shows that real courage isn't bragging. It's facing the unknown even when you're terrified.
And that's exactly what Harry does. Goes right into the chamber knowing the danger. Pretty remarkable, especially for a kid his age.
He gets it, you know. What really matters, he's not about ego. He's loyal to his friends. He wants to protect people.
That's what makes him such a great character, I think. He's not perfect. He messes up. But his heart's in the right place. And when he describes the basilisk from Hermione's research, so vivid, you could practically see it.
The power of language, right? It paints a picture. And that makes that final showdown even more intense. Harry, just sword in his wits against a monster. Classic David and Goliath.
Totally. And that sword coming from the Sorting Hat, it's not just magic, it's symbolic. Courage, chivalry, that's Gryffindor. And Harry embodies that.
For sure. And we can't forget Fawkes. Blinding the basilisk with his tears. It's beautiful, it's sacrifice, and it shows hope, even in the darkest moments.
And then, bam, the big reveal. Tom Riddle. He's not just some friendly ghost from the past.
Right.
He's the heir of Slytherin.
And not only that, it's like a memory of Voldemort from his school days. The diary, it's not harmless, it's holding a piece of Voldemort's soul. That connection, it explains everything. How Riddle was able to manipulate Ginny, how he opened the chamber, how he orchestrated this whole thing.
It's crazy when you think about it. That level of planning, it's chilling. And the way he talks about Ginny's diary entries, you feel how vulnerable she was, how lonely. It's heartbreaking.
It shows that we can all be manipulated, especially when we're young, when we're looking for connection. And it brings up some really unsettling questions about what makes us who we are, about memories, about identity.
It's fascinating and scary at the same time, especially in the wizarding world. And that face-off between Harry and Riddle in the chamber, so much tension. You could practically feel the clash.
It's good versus evil, it's light versus dark, it's for Ginny's soul, and when Riddle calls the basilisk, things look really bad.
It's pure desperation. But then Fawkes comes back with the sorting hat and the sword. That's hope. That's Harry not being alone in this.
And it ties back into that idea of legacy, how the past affects the present. The sword, passed down through Gryffindors, it's about courage, it's about chivalry, is what Harry represents in that moment.
Chills every time. And Harry using the basilisk fang to destroy the diary. It's symbolic. He's not just beating Riddle, he's breaking the connection, the hold that piece of Voldemort had on Ginny.
Exactly. And that act, that destruction, it has huge consequences. Because the diary wasn't just a memory, it was a Horcrux, a piece of Voldemort's soul. Harry, without even knowing it, hit Voldemort himself.
It's wild how small actions can have such big effects.
Yeah.
And it makes you wonder, if Harry can do that without realizing, what else can he do?
It's a question for the later books, for sure. But for now, we got to recognize how brave Harry is in these excerpts. Facing fears, protecting friends, even fighting Voldemort. And he's just a kid.
Inspiring, really. Totally inspiring. It's a win, but things aren't exactly back to normal at Hogwarts. Lucius Malfoy, not happy about his plan blowing up. He goes right to Dumbledore. Talk about an awkward meeting.
Yeah, it's like these two different worlds clashing in the wizarding world, right? Lucius, he's old school, all about that pure blood stuff.
Yeah.
Power hungry, manipulative. He'll use anyone to get what he wants.
And Dumbledore, well, he's the opposite.
Yeah.
Equality, justice, all about understanding and love. He sees right through Lucius, doesn't he?
Oh, totally. That moment when Dumbledore just lays it out that he knows Lucius planted the diary, it's perfect. He doesn't even yell, just calm facts. Lucius is speechless. That's real power.
Yeah, it is. And speaking of power, there's Dobby, stuck between a rock and a hard place, right? Terrified of his master, but loyal to Harry. He even risked it all to warn Harry about the danger.
Oh, Dobby's story. It's heartwarming. He starts off so timid, bound by those house elf traditions. And then by the end, he's taking these huge risks to protect the people he cares about. It shows that even in a system like that, there's room to grow, to change.
And seeing him freed, so satisfying. Lucius tossing that sock, not knowing he's actually freeing Dobby. Poetic justice, right?
Oh, it's brilliant. Lucius, wanting control so badly, he ends up causing the very thing he's afraid of, someone like Dobby having power. And for Dobby, it's freedom, a chance at a real life.
Makes you really cheer for him. And then we had that feast at the end, everyone in their pajamas, celebrating, Lockhart's gone. It's nice to have some light after all that darkness.
It shows that even with danger, with all the uncertainty, life goes on. There's still joy, friendship, that sense of community to help you through it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yep.
But there's still that unease, right? Like Dumbledore saying Voldemort transferred some of his powers to Harry. That's why Harry can speak Parseltongue. It puts a damper on things.
Yeah, it reminds us that this fight, it's not over. It's just beginning. And that connection between Harry and Voldemort, that shared power, it just complicates things even more. They're like two sides of the same coin tied together by something neither of them fully understands.
It's scary, but it also makes you want to know what happens next, right? This whole deep dive into the Chamber of Secrets, it's been amazing. Twists and turns, scary moments, moments of victory. And we really thought about good versus evil, prejudice, bravery.
It really has. And it makes us think, how do we deal with our fears? How do we do what's right, even when it's hard? What are we willing to sacrifice for the people we care about?
Those are questions that go way beyond just Harry Potter. They're for all of us. We hope this deep dive gave you some new ways to think about the story, maybe even inspired you to read it again.
And if you like this deep dive, check out our other episodes. Lots of cool topics, always something new to learn.
And don't forget to subscribe to the channel, follow us on social media, and hey, if you want to support us, check out our Patreon, links in the description. And as always, we love hearing from you. Let us know in the comments what you thought of this episode.